the business becomes, the more you can command as your price. Have great customer service, and that will get you some good Google reviews. And we're going to talk to Erica about that here in just a second. Thank you for this week's Word of the Week, Marcus Tate. We appreciate it. Now let's get to this quick weekly recap. I don't have much to say, but this week, my younger brother, shout out to my younger brother Lynn, he finally started working with us. We had a little bit of couple snafus, but he is now on board with us. We did 24 properties today. My man is tired. I'm just going to tell you that right now. He said, "Man, how do y'all do this? My arms feel like they about to fall off." I said, "Bro, it is yard 3. We got 21 more." It was hilarious, but he made it through the day. He's staying with me the first 3 days of the week. He's going to be working with us Monday through Wednesday as we teach him how to do this lawn care maintenance that we do each and every week, trying to eventually go to a 2 crew setup now that I got 3 big boy mowers. But that has been amazing. I also had the opportunity to interview Chris Kaiser, the president and CEO of Equip Expo, the OPEI, and the Turf Mutt Foundation. That episode dropped this morning on the Attack with Mack. So if you haven't listened to it, go ahead, give that a listen. We talked about all of the cool things that Equip offers and some new things that are happening and how it absolutely changed my life. And I know it can change yours because you will get to see how big this green industry is, not just in lawn maintenance or scooping of the poop, but landscaping, power washing, blade sharpening, all types of cool things that you get to do down there, trying the different equipment that you may want to buy here in the future, meeting CEOs and presidents and business owners from, the quote unquote chuck in the truck who just started out, don't know anything, all the way up to the multi-million dollar bright views of the world. Everyone is there. It's the Super Bowl of the industry, and the episode was fire. So I would encourage you to go check that out. Again, Mac 50 will save you 50% on your Equip registrations. It is 12.50 right now. So go get those done and be sure to enter code MAC50. I do get a small kickback from that, but that funds what we do each and every week here on the Attack with Mac and on the YouTube channel. Um, we also finished cleaning out my pool property finally. Took 4 dumpsters full. My homie Piper coming through with the CTX Vermeer CTX 160. We finally got that done. We finished the last little bit up. Now we can get our pool components put in, our new heater and filter system, and all of that stuff is going in. I cut down some limbs so we can get new electrical poles put in and all types of cool stuff. So hopefully we'll have this swimming pool up and running by the time my little girl turns 6 years old and my son turns 19. They share the same birthday, and we would like to have a pool birthday party. And then maybe you can come to my swimming pool and go swimming if you become a channel member. Uh, but that's that. Last but certainly not least, I will be bringing a new community to the industry. It's going to be called the Winning Life Lightbringers Community, and it will be a subscription-based thing where we will have a community. We will do some masterminding. We will do some fellowshipping. I'll have some guest experts come on. We will have private meetups and private Equip Expo dinners and much, much more. That stuff will be coming here over the next month or so, maybe 2 months. I don't know. I'm working on it as diligently as I can while we get here into this lawn care season of 2025. But that's what we got going on this week. And without further ado, let me shout out a couple more people. We got Brandon's Professional Lawn Service in here, Lone Wolf Landscaping, Demk Lawn Care, Anthony Turnage, 907 in the building. Nick Mitch in the building. DK Lawn Service in the building. CR Lawns Wisconsin in the building. Ryder Pettis 1 in the building. What's going on with y'all? Yellow Dog Services, Sky in the building. We got D's Lawn Care Service in the building, and Brandon's Professional Lawn Service here in the building. Wow, we got a lot of comments. James Dorsey's Lawn Care in the building. Clayton Blunt in the building. He says, Zig Ziglar said you can have everything that you want. You can have everything in life that you want if you just help other people get what they want. Yep. It's one of my favorite people, brother. We love him. Willie the Grass Man is in the building. He's the one who actually gave me the idea. I would be remiss without mentioning my man, Willie the Grass Man. When he came to the 2025 Winning Life Lawn Care Setup Showcase, afterwards, people stayed after. We were in the bar eating some wings and fries and things like that. A couple people were having some libations, and Willie the Grass Man was like, "Yo, you need to start a paid subscription, bro. You need to start a paid community, that's more private and all of this." And I said, "Really? You think so?" He was like, "I would join. I'm telling you right now, bro. I, I love what you do. You should do that." And that is kind of where I got the idea. So over the last month or so, I've been mulling it over in my head, and then finally I decided I will do that. So shout out to Willie the Grass Man. I truly appreciate him speaking life into me, and we will have a more intimate and more in-depth conversations than any other time that we can't do here on the internet, right? This won't be something that goes out on the podcast. This will be live, rugged, real, and raw. So if that's something you're interested in, Mac underscore landscaping 412, DM me, man. Let me know if you're interested in it. And I'm gonna get on it. I'm gonna get that thing done. I appreciate everybody who always speaks life into me. But that's what I got going on, man. The light winning life light bringers community will be coming to you soon. And yeah, that's that. Now, over the last 4 years since 2021, that was my first year going to Equip Expo. I've been going to live events from Equip Expo, LCR Summit, Together in the Trades, LAL, my Winning Life meetups, and all these different things. I've been going to the YouTube rally, all these different things. A very special person I met was Erica Krooppin with Krooppin's Poopin' Scoopin'. I was told about her from my man Andrew Martinez, who had some great interviews with her, and then I got to actually meet her at LAL either last year or 2 years ago, and we just had great conversations. Her husband Josh and her are at all the live events, and she's just an amazing, amazing woman who has a six-figure pooping, scooping business, and we're going to talk about that tonight. She is wonderful, she is fabulous, and she is a phenomenal businesswoman. Without further ado, my girl, Erica Krooppin. How you doing, sis?
Good. What's up? That was quite the introduction. Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Well, I try to make sure that whenever we have people who are near and dear to my heart, which is every person that comes on as a guest on the Attack with Mac, I know that you are going to deliver phenomenal value to these people the same way you do to me with our friendship, getting to hang out with you at those live events like Buffalo Wild Wings when we went there that first year
Yeah.
when Zach missed that flight and you was talking
Yeah.
about
That
how
sucked that he
it
did
works.
that. I
It
got a
definitely
question. Is
did.
my audio okay? Because I'm using this little microphone right here.
Phenomenal.
Can you- Okay, cool.
Yeah, you sound clear as ever. Well, I
Trying to make things
appreciate
more
that.
simple over here. So, all right, well, cool.
Professionalism.
Well, I mean, a lot's been going on, to be quite honest. Trying to grow the business, moving out of the old office, moving into a new office, moving the podcast studio back home. So yeah, I just wanted to show some or share some love on you and the landscaping community. When I started my business back in 2018, there was no poop scooping community, right? And so I did some research and I found like Keith Kalfas, Brian Fullerton, and that's how I found the green industry. And I was like, holy crap, there's this whole like community. I mean, we're not really not the same, but we work outside. We do service maintenance, like it's very similar. So I started to go to the events, even though I was scared. I was kind of scared to go to these events. But I was like, you know what? I'm just going to meet people. I'm going to start shaking hands. And I am so incredibly grateful that I did not chicken out of the LAL event. I want to say it was 2020 because my husband hurt himself and he couldn't go. And I was like, well, I'm still going to go. And that's how I met so many people. And then now I'm on your show and we're chatting. So thank you so much for showing me so much love.
Absolutely, man. You are part of the green industry. You just do something different. Like people think I don't want people to think that when we say the green industry, that doesn't mean lawn and landscape only. It's power washers, it's roofers, it's anyone who has a service business that is basically outside. Maybe roofers don't qualify for the green industry, but people who are taking care of people's landscapes, they're doing water features, like my man Eric Triplett, the pond digger, right? All of these people who are doing things to make people's outdoor living spaces amazing, whether that's scooping of the poop, mowing people's grass, putting in landscapes, power washing houses, all of that stuff is all under the umbrella of the green industry. And so we are just a real big family, and we're all business minded entrepreneurs who are trying to win in life. And that is special because, Erica, there's so many different ways that we can affect our own lives, but also by serving other people, and that's all within that green industry umbrella. So you are a part of the industry, and I'm happy you didn't chicken out too. But before we get started,
Nope. I was like, no, I'm gonna go and yeah, hit it.
no, I was just going to say before we get started, tell us a little bit about yourself, your business, and then we will get this party rocking.
All right. Well, I'm Erica Krooppin. I'm the owner of Krooppin's Poopin' Scoopin', which is a dog waste removal business. I'm located here in Michigan. I have been in business for a little over 6 years. The business, I was able to grow it to six figures very quickly. I have not been able to get over 250,000. I have been stagnant there, and it's just driving me insane. I understand it's a skill set issue that hasn't been able to push me over that, but I want to develop those skills this year to hopefully get me to $300,000 this year in revenue, because as grateful as I am for generating 250,000 per year, I know this business is capable of more and I'm capable of more.
Wow, I mean, so, how how do you keep track before we even get started? Because I'm a little bit flabbergasted at two. If you see me do this too, by the way, it's so that I can stop my camera from moving. So don't think if you're in the middle of talking and I do this, that doesn't mean I want you to stop talking. I just want you to know that this camera moves sometimes, and I don't want it to mess up the background. But 250,000 is no small feat. Is there a way that, like, do you track like how much poop that that it takes to do that?
Where'd you
Like
go?
pounds
All
or
right.
anything like that?
Am I back?
Yeah, you haven't left. You're just
My
freezing up a
internet is
little bit.
lagging. I'm not hardwired in. That's what I got to do. Are you Ethernet in for your lives?
No, it's on Wi-Fi.
I just got bougie internet.
That's
All
all
right,
right.
proceed.
Your 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 audio isn't messing up. You are freezing up though. Now you're crystal clear. But what I was
Okay,
saying is
I switched to better internet.
for 250,000 is nothing to sneeze at. Is there like how much poop do you actually have to scoop to do that?
So for like reoccurring revenue, I toggle, it's usually between 125 and like 170 houses per week that we take care of.
Wow.
But then we also have initial cleans or one time cleans that factor into that price point. My average ticket price right now per customer is about $108 per month. And each technician can do it between 25 and 28 houses per day. So we're moving quick. We are definitely moving and grooving, but um, I kind of keep track of it, but it's not like I don't exactly know, like, this is exactly how many one time cleans I did versus this is how many reoccurring. I'm not that tight with my books yet.
So how did you come up with the idea to get into this business? You said you've been in it for 6 years. Like
Mhm.
how did you what gave you the idea, and what did you do, I guess before you answer that, what did you do prior to starting your business?
Oh man. So I've done a lot. I've just had a lot of jobs. I've just been trying to like figure out what it is that I wanted to do when I grow up, right? When I graduated high school, my aunt got me a job at the hospital, so I became a pharmacy technician. This was back before you had to go to school. I did on the job training. Then they're like, "Hey, you have to get certified." So I took the test, I failed it. They're like, "You got one more shot to take this test or you're going to be fired." So I waited to the very last day and I took the test again. I passed it. I was like, "Okay, cool." So I still have a job. But it was just one of those things where I was working there. the job was handed to me. I didn't earn it by any means. I wasn't super grateful. Should have been fired a long time ago because I had attendance issues. And I used to think that it was because I was lazy. I was just not in the right place. And so I would be sick to my stomach when I would have to go into work. I would have these like illnesses. I would be constantly going to the doctor because I'm like, I'm just sick. I don't feel well. But it was literally, I was just hyping myself up so much to where I would make myself ill. Long story short, I needed to figure out, I'm like, I got to go back to school. I got to do something to get out of this hospital because you can't just leave. Like, you can't leave the hospital because it's golden handcuffs. You have retirement with a 5% match, you have killer health care. And I feel like that's the only reason why my husband got with me is because I had health care, because you don't have health care in the tree service, you know? So I went back to school. That really, like, I worked really really hard with school, but I am at best a C student, and I had to like take every class twice to even get an A. So I'd get like a C and then I would get an A. And my husband's last name is actually Krooppin, and him and we've known each other ever since we were very young kids. I've always had a crush on him. I've always liked him. But we were just ran in different circles. And him and his brothers, I would hear them joke around about this Krooppin's poopin' scoopin' thing like for years. And then one day I'm just like standing in the kitchen, I'm watching my dog go to the bathroom outside, and I look at Josh. I'm like, "Can I start that poop scooping thing and use the name?" He's like, "Yeah, sure." I tell you what, the next day I went and got a DBA and hit the ground running, and that was it. I didn't look behind, nothing. I'm like, "Let's hit it."
Wow. Listen, for those who don't know, DBA is doing business as. It's before you get your LLC and your EIN number, you go get a business bank account. So that's what she means by a DBA. But that is unreal. I love when see that right there is exact, man. The motivational minute was the rich people trust their vision and doubt their fears, and poor people doubt their vision and trust their fears. And it sounds to me like you just went straight to, I have this vision and I'm not about to think about anything else. The next day, boom, we're off and we are out here scooping the poop. So, what was it like when you got your first customer?
Oh, I was so
And how
excited.
did you get your first customer?
I just started posting on Facebook because I didn't have a lot of money. Like, I think we were living in this house that we were in now, but we couldn't even afford this house. Like, it was, I don't even understand how we got it. It didn't really fall into our lap, but thank God we got into this house. But we got in here. I was, we were just struggling, three young kids, all of that. So I had like $1,000 to get started. And I was like, well, from my network marketing days, because I used to sell jewelry too. So I was a pharmacy technician, I was an esthetician, I worked at a bar for a day and a half, and then I quit because I was like, this ain't for me. I can't do this. I can't remember people's ranch and their shots. Like, my brain's not cut out for this. So was posting on Facebook, and one of my jewelry, we weren't like coworkers, but we were both in like the network marketing. She was like, If you want to come over and scoop for my dogs, that would be great." And I remember I went over there on a Wednesday. It was like 6:30, 7 p.m. after she got off work. Two Great Danes. I charged her $20. I was there for an hour because I didn't know what I was doing. Massive property. And I just remember leaving. I was like, I just made $20 scooping dog poop. Woo! Yeah.
Man, that is fire. See, people, one of the things that I felt like I literally, after I did my first two jobs and I got them the same way, putting things on Facebook, is I came home and I knew at that right then, that first job, I knew that this is gonna work. And literally went home and told my wife. I had tears streaming. I've told this story 100 times now to people, but I had tears streaming down my face because I knew that I had found it. The one thing that I had been looking for. You and I, we relate a lot because of ADHD. So like
Oh
I
yeah.
was a terrible student in school too. The only thing I cared about was basketball. So I totally relate on that thing. But what I also relate on is making a decision that this is something that I want to do. And once that happens, I can do it. Like I can get laser focused on something that I truly care about. Let me know down in the comments if you relate to that. And if you are listening on the podcast, DM me at Mac_landscape and let me know, do you struggle with ADHD? Hit Erica with Erica Krooppin on Instagram too. Let her know if you struggle with it the way we do. But we do have a question from Alex Flores over here on Instagram. He says, how do you charge for the jobs? Is it by the pound or by the pound of poop or how? He's curious. He would like to know.
That's fun. So there's different ways that you can charge in the industry. Some people charge per minute, some people charge per bucket, or some people charge flat rate. I prefer to go with the flat rate method. And over time, I've realized a standard size yard, which is 1/8 of an acre or less, one dog on a weekly visit, I know I can be in and out of that property within 15 minutes from start to finish. And so right now, I'm charging $120 flat rate for the month. And I think that breaks down to like $27.50 per week. Um, so you kind of have to figure out like your yard sizes. You have to figure out how fast you can scoop a property. But we kind of say we want to make at least $1 a minute in the industry. You can service about 3 houses an hour if you're doing weekly because of like drive time, depending on your route density. If you're looking at just like a one-time clean, same thing, similar yard. I know I can be in and out of that property in about an hour. So I charge about, I start at 120, they go up to 150. I've done cleans that go up to 250, 350. And I've underpriced jobs that should have been 350 and I charged $50. Because in the beginning, I didn't know what I was doing. You want to clean for $50? You want to clean? Sure. And so me and my husband were just out hustling. I remember the first day we worked sun up to sundown and we were out doing spring cleans, only $50 a piece because we didn't know any better. And we made $1,000 that day. And I remember him and I looking at each other, we're like, we just made $1,000 scooping dog crap. And we were driving home this little piece of crap Ranger, and we just those days. I wish I would have had cameras in the trucks in those days because it was just something that is so like I'll never be able to recreate that.
Yeah. Wow. So, does the size of the dog or the type of dog matter? Like, so if it's a Great Dane versus I have a 3 pound teacup Yorkie, so
No, those
does it
smaller
matter?
dogs are worse because they're harder to see.
Ah,
So it doesn't matter. It's just really about like the size of the yard because you're having to walk a lot more. So if you have a small yard, it doesn't matter if you have one, two, three, or even up to 4 dogs. You can bust that out so quick because the area is so small. But when you're going into 1/4 of an acre, a half acre, a full acre, that it doesn't matter if there's 1 dog or 5 dogs on a weekly, it's still taking so much time.
mm,
So that's the reason why. Like I played with my prices over the years. So I would do like what was I doing? I had like $14 per visit for 1 dog, $15 for 2. And I just went up $1 per. But now because I'm working with Cycle CPA, he's telling me what my man hour rate needs to be. So I had to adjust my pricing. My man hour rate is kind of high right now because last year I made some not smart decisions with the business, and now I'm fixing it. I'm fixing what I did, and so I'm trying to get that man hour rate down so I can be more profitable.
nice. Well, so in lawn maintenance, I'm literally training my younger brother right now. Today was his first day, so you know the trimmer head spins counterclockwise, so you got to go from the left around the house and do all of that. The chute is on the right hand side of the thing, so you got to start on the right side of the house or the right side of the property and do things that way. What is a typical like clean? How do you have a process that you do? Like how's that work?
Yeah, it's very efficient. So I use Jabber, that's the CRM I use, and I have the route completely planned out from start to finish of where everybody needs to go. All the notes, I have them in the instructions. So when you start your job, you text the customer, hey, this is Erica, I'm on the way to scoop, send that, drive to the property. Once we get to the property, we clock in. If you're new to the property, you look over the notes to see is it a front yard, is backyard, side yard, where are we going? We enter through the gate. We whistle because we want to make sure that there's no dog out. Because we say no dogs because we don't want a runner, we don't want to get jumped on, and we definitely don't want to get bit. Having said that, we do make exceptions because not all dogs are aggressive, but just as like a blanket statement, no dogs. We enter the property. I always close the gate behind us. And then I just start right where I enter the gate and I just walk back and forth, keeping my passes nice and tight. I'm looking back and forth. It's like a perpetual Easter egg hunt.
Mm.
Okay. So it's back and forth, back and forth. Once you get to the back of the property, then you go in the opposite direction. So it's a grid like pattern. We're also checking flower beds, we're checking the sidewalks, and we're also going to check the deck area or a patio area that's right outside the back door. Because if you miss that pile, they will see it. Um, so once you make sure that's clear, on your second pass, for me at least, if we find more than 3 piles on that second pass, we got to go back and do a third pass because you really should only be finding 1 or 2. At least that's my opinion. So we might have to do a third, but we try to keep it nice and tight so not. We leave the property, we close the gate, we take a photo of the closed gate and send it to the homeowner via email. I have been blamed for landscapers leaving the gate open, and I'm not doing that no more. So I like to have my backup so I can send them the photo, be like, we shut that. Talk to whoever. That's not us. We double bag the dog poop, put it in the homeowner's outdoor trash can, go to our vehicle, sanitize our equipment, hop in the truck, clock out, and we're out of there. In and out, 15 minutes.
Wow. So I was just about to ask you uh, well, I will ask you this. What are the tools that you use? Explain that to us. Like, how's that work? And we had some people asking, where do you dispose of it? But you just kind of answered that. So, what kind of tools do you use?
Okay. The tools I use a children's garden rake from Lowe's because I'm short. That seems to work the best, and they're only like $5 or $6. And then I use a yellow dozer dustpan. You can get it at Home Depot or Lowe's, something like that. And then a 13-gallon drawstring trash bag that I line my bucket with. And then the sanitizer is a 256 top performance disinfectant that we spray our tools down with.
Now, whenever you clean the yard, you just mentioned what you use to disinfect your equipment with. But is there anything that you spray like on an area that you just cleaned? And do you spray anything like is there an upcharge for like urine spots or anything like do you deal with any of that stuff?
So there are people in the industry that offer a deodorizer or a disinfectant. That is, I have that on deck. I haven't launched it. And I hear a lot of people talking about like you can get a higher ticket price. Here's my thought process. It's like when you're trying to do different services, then you're having to like stop and think. You're like, oh, now I have to switch gears because now I have to like plug this sanitation system in. I have to go get the hose. I like the fact that we are just trained, rinse and repeat to scoop these yards. It's just like bam, bam, bam. It's autopilot almost. And so that's the reason why I have not offered the disinfectant or deodorizer. But having said that, there are companies that do. So Wizzy Wash is one of the big ones that a lot of scoopers use.
Wizzy wash.
Wizzy Wash, yeah. And then we also on that's the residential side. Then we also have our commercial side where we take care of dog waste stations. So we empty out the trashes, we change out those bags, and those are pretty lucrative. I do 18 stations. Takes me like an hour and 15 minutes, and I charge $150 every week.
Wow, that's cool.
I
I didn't even
love
think
it.
of. Well, it's funny. My one of my friends, he just recently started a lawn care business, and he has this apartment complex that allows for the poop. I've been to places that don't allow animals, but when I went up there to help him like price out everything, it was like landmine city up there. Do you have any like relationships with lawn care companies or anything like that?
No, but I need to. That's something I'm definitely lacking in. Well, let me take that back. There are 2 landscapers that I deal with. My landscaper, Brian, and then there's an Jacob. He actually he I think he's seen me online, or I don't know how he found me, but we went over and scooped his property, and so we do kind of communicate back and forth. But I don't have like a solid plan where I'm like, hey, let's work this out. Let's exchange information. Um, so if anybody's local in Michigan around the Canton, Westland area, holler at me because I would love to have a conversation.
Nice. You mentioned earlier that like you when you first started that you didn't have a community. There wasn't like a scooping community, but I know now because of you, there is more of a community. You're starting to create things for the scoop community, and you're having like an event coming up here soon, or did it already happen? Can you tell us
Yes.
about that?
Yeah, I'm really excited. So I'm not actually throwing the event. William and Levi, they own Poop Scoop Millionaire, and they're the ones that are actually hosting the event, and I am a speaker there. I'm just really excited because this is something that once I went to LAL and I went to a couple other events, I was like, we have to have something like this for the poop scooping industry. And it, I'm not very organized. I can't put. I don't even know how I put my own wedding together, to be quite honest. So the fact that William and Levi, they're doing it, they're doing everything that they need to do behind the scenes, and then I get to like go there and mingle and speak with people. I'm just super grateful, but I don't have all the pressure of like having to figure out all the fine details because that would be a mess.
So basically, when you talked about your grid system, it sounds like you're probably taking 30,000, 40,000 steps a day, like a mailman, so to speak.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, we walk a lot, like 12 to 15 miles a day if I remember to put my watch on.
Yeah, but I did notice also through social media, you're like, and how at LAL, what you were eating and carrying your protein around down at Equip Expo. It's like, come on, Erica, let's go get something to eat. You was like, no, I got this bottle and my salad and things that I'm eating. What inspired you to, get make fitness a priority?
Man, this is a deep one. So I when I've always had mental health issues. I've always had a bit of depression. I've had anxiety. I just never felt right. I never felt good enough. There's just name it, right? Name it. And with becoming an entrepreneur, it's like I had to level up my business, and it didn't matter the marketing that I had. It's like me as an individual. I'm like I'm I'm not showing up for myself. I'm lazy. I'm drinking. Me and my husband are arguing all the time because there's issues going on. And so as time has gone on, I just decided I need to make some serious changes. Like, you know what it's like when it's 90 degrees and you're outside working and then you eat something bad and you're like, whoa, where's the bathroom at? I need to find a bathroom now. So I'm like, this isn't working. Like, this isn't efficient. And so I just decided that I was going to try to get my gut in health. I wanted to start eating healthy. I quit drinking alcohol. It's been two years. I've been sober March 27th of this year. And then I just noticed I was just doing. Thank
Had to
you,
give you
thank
that
you.
round of applause.
I appreciate it. I was just getting bigger and bigger. I didn't really realize like how big I was actually getting. And for me, like, some women are like happy at any weight. I'm not. I'm not happy when I'm bigger because I don't like the way that I look. And that causes confident issues. And so I was at home and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to walk up to the gym. I'm just going to walk up there. And Mike and Jessica were there and they're like, do you want to just work out with us? Because my anxiety was so high. Like, I didn't know what to do there. And by them inviting me to work out with them, Mike's the owner of the gym, I started training. And now I go 3 days a week, like clockwork, tightened up the diet, lost weight, getting cut. My husband now, he's at the gym too. I busted this man. He pulled up his shirt at the gym and was like flexing and like checking himself out in the mirror. I have never seen that. And we will be married. It'll be 8 years in May. I've never seen him do that. So it's like I started making all these little changes and now it's affecting him in a positive way. And I'm just like, I'm really excited to see what our future holds.
That's amazing, man. I grew up around a lot of alcohol and things like that, so I know how that affects families,
Yeah.
and I know how that affects people. So, congratulations on your sobriety. Number one, that's good stuff for you, and that's inspiring to others. We got Alex Flores said he's on 7 months now, without drinking. So shout out to you, Alex Flores. We appreciate you. But no, that's dope, man. That's really amazing. So, tell me about the Scoop podcast and how'd you get that started and what was the inspiration behind that?
Man, Andrew Martinez, talking to him, he's like, "You got to do a podcast." And I was like, What? Who's going to want to listen to me talk? Like, I don't even, my husband don't want to listen to me talk. I don't like the way my voice sounds. I don't have anything to offer. That's how I felt. I felt like I didn't have anything to offer because that's how poorly I felt about myself. But I had this YouTube channel that was like, it was growing, but it wasn't like growing. Like, not when I, in comparison, when I was thinking about all these bigger channels, but I didn't really realize like the community, that tight community that I was building from like the ground up. Now I get it. Now I understand. But he, he, Andrew Martinez was like, "You should do it." So on my birthday, I asked Josh, he was like, "Well, what do you want for your birthday?" And I was like, "Podcast equipment, because I'm going to do a podcast." He took a guitar center, and he bought me all the stuff. And I want to say it sat there for like 6 months. It sat there for quite some time collecting dust because I didn't like, I don't know. But Andrew was like, "Hey, what's going on?" So he really pushed me. And I contacted Mr. Producer. I'm like, "I don't even know how I'm going to pay for this." Um, but I figured it out. And I think I'm at like episode 157 or something like that now. So it's been almost over 2 years that I've been doing the podcast, and it's kind of had it ebbs and flows. Like, I share real stories, I talk about tactical business advice, but I'm also sharing the journey of like my faith. I'm sharing the pros and cons, insider information that I wish I could have because I am working on my mental health, and I think it's important to talk about that because I don't think a lot of people on the internet actually share that journey of what an entrepreneur goes through, where you're just like if some days are so bad where you're just like, if somebody would just give me $1, I would give them my business. I just want to shut it down. I don't want it anymore. I would go gladly go work at another place and make $15-20 an hour so I don't have to think. That's where I was last year. And you feel so alone. You feel
Mm.
so alone, and it's hard to ask for help because it's almost embarrassing. Like, that's where I was with my business. Like, I was embarrassed of where it was at, but I was too afraid to ask for help. But now looking back, I had to go through some tough things, but now it's like, okay, ask for help. That's how you're going to fix this, Erica. And so that's what the podcast is about.
Yeah, I love it. And it's crazy. We relate on so many levels when it comes to this. And it ain't just ADHD. It's that too. I went through a lot of the same stuff where it's like, what do I offer? Why would anyone listen to me? And that's just the devil telling you lies. We are all put here to do something special with our life, to do something big with our life, to impact others so that they can do the same thing. Because no one out here is that special, to think that everything is down on them. Like, no, you are special and you can be special to so many other people. So, whenever I felt like that too, it was this stuff. People DMing, I'm sure you probably get DM'd a lot from people who want to start businesses, but people commenting on YouTube videos, very little haters because of the type of content that I do. I'm not out here being braggadocious or anything like that. I really would just like to help other people. And I know you're the same way. So whenever I get down, I swear I come to the internet. When before you think it's such a negative place, but really these communities have been so invaluable to me and helping my mental health. I didn't even know I had issues with it except for ADHD. And then I
Yeah.
got on here and you start to tell a story and so many people relate to it. That's why people are in the comments talking about you right now. Erica spitting fire, Erica speaking from her soul. Thank you for that. Like all of these cool comments that come in, but it's not just that, it's the different emails that come through. It's the being a part of someone else's testimony. Like I always talk about Keith Kalfas and Brian and Johnny and all these different people who went on the internet. They created a little bit of content which helped me and inspired me. And now I feel like it's our job to hold up that mantle. And I love Andrew because I
Yeah.
speak life into Andrew. Andrew's also hit me up on several occasions. Andrew was really, it's funny. I might have still got into podcasting, Erica, but I did Andrew's podcast one day, like I was a guest, and then he lost his voice. Do you remember when he lost his voice, like 2 years ago?
Yes.
He hit me up and was like, "Can you do my podcast for me?" And I said, "What do you mean?" And he was like, host it, be a guest host. And I was like, I mean, I never done one by myself. I only had like 20 or 30 episodes of Lawn Care Power Moves at the time. And he's like, "Well, can you do it?" And I was like, I mean, sure, I'll try. And then I kept pressing record and then turning it off because I was like, I'm not good at doing this by myself. But it was Andrew. Like On the Attack with Mac probably wouldn't be a thing if it wasn't for that opportunity that Andrew gave to me. So he's a part of both of our testimonies too. He's an amazing guy.
He
Um,
really is. I don't know why I'm getting so emotional thinking about it. He is wonderful. He really is. And sometimes I feel bad. I'm like, I should reach out to him more. And it's like, you know how you just get in your head and you realize like it's been weeks or months and you haven't reached out to people you care about. That's that's on my to-do list is like be more intentional, get this business right so I can spend more time and reach out to the people that I actually care about that have poured into me. Um, because I kind of want to, which this will circle to the reviews, but I kind of wanted to touch on this for a minute. Um, I didn't understand routing. And so that is, I was like, it was a really long day for me. And I was like, in tears in my truck. Like, I just drove all over town. It's like a 13, 14-hour day for like 12 houses or 14, something stupid. And I did like a route density like lookup on YouTube, and that's how I found one of Brian Fullerton's route density videos. So I started binge watching all of his content. And then Keith Kelfis got fed to me. And then Keith Kelfis was talking about make sure when you provide service for your customers, you follow up and you ask them for a well-worded 5-star review. And so that is how my review things really started as I started manually sending all of that out. But I want to pause there. We'll segue back into that if that's okay. But
yes.
because of like talking to all of you guys, then I got hooked up with Jobber and I got flown out to Vegas and I had talked to Paul Jameson a few times, but never like hung out with him one-on-one. And I remember I had reached out to my person for Jobber and I was like, "Hey, I'm here in Vegas, and is there anybody else around like to hang out with? Because I'm just sitting in the hotel room." And they were like, "Well, Paul's here." I was like, "Paul's not gonna want to hang out with me. Like, Paul's got, this big audience. Like, why is Paul gonna want to hang out with me?" So I was nervous. And she was like, "Well, reach out to him if you want to." So I sent Paul a message. I was like, "Hey, you want to like hang out? I'm here." And he was like, "Yeah, sure." So we walked around the casino, and then we went by the pool, and we were just chatting. And we got to talking about this tattoo that was on my leg. And it was like the third eye thing was following me around. And I thought it was really weird that he had brought it up. But like I had like these little hairs that like stood up on my arms. From there, we started talking about mental health. We started talking about spiritual stuff. And then because of Paul and because of the conversations I had with Paul, the devil reared his ugly head with some trauma and stuff that I had. I literally came home that next day because I was so convicted that the devil was on me. I accepted Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior like 2 days later. I came home and I was like, "Nope, this is it. Like I'm changing my life around. I'm not playing these games." And so Paul is like plays a huge role in me being a follower of Christ. And so I feel like my whole life has changed because of the green industry. It's crazy.
I totally agree. When I when I did the same thing, right when I started my business, it was like 2016, 2 months before. Um, I did it and I went down there, and again, I'd be in church and the pastor, it seems like every time you go to church, the pastor's saying something directly to you.
Like, he
That's because
knows. He sees, like, he knows exactly what you're doing behind closed doors.
It's because the Bible is so relatable.
Whew.
Because us as human beings, we haven't changed in over 2,000 years. Everything that happened in the Bible is still happening today. And when you hear that stuff, it really helps to get you closer. All of the visions that you had are given to you by the Almighty. And so when I got into this, it opened my mind up like to new possibilities. And then when I gave myself to the Lord, I, everything started to change.
Hmm.
I vividly remember having a conversation with my wife, and she's the biggest. She's one of the. mm, my wife has prayed for me. She's believed in me more than anybody else. And I remember arguing with her. She was in the dark room in our family room. She's sitting there. She's praying. I'm like, "What are you doing?" "Oh, I'm praying, blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, God ain't real. If he was real, then I wouldn't be suffering the way that I'm suffering. Like all of these things that happen wouldn't be happening the way that they're happening. And she was like, I rebuke that in the name of Jesus and all of this.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. We ain't trying to make this religious, but it really is a very powerful thing because now I'm so close to God now that I have his words to give to people. And I'm not saying that some pastor or some preacher or anything like that, but the words that come to my head, I have ADHD, Erica. I don't think about anything. I just say
Mhm.
what's on my heart. And it's because I'm not thinking when I talk, I know it ain't me. I know it's not me. I'm not that special to be able to say anything that would inspire someone else to believe in themselves, to start a new business, to want to seek out new education, to lower the walls of fear, and to open up their heart to being able to talk to someone else, to have the humility to ask a question rather than feeling like you are unworthy to talk to someone like Paul, right? And that all became a part of me through God. And so I encourage anyone who isn't or hasn't given their life to the Lord, man, get closer to him because that is what changes lives. All your visions come from that. So
It's true. It's drastically changed our household. I have a relationship with my parents now because I didn't have a relationship with them for quite some time. Um, People like, okay, so when I quit drinking and I started making some changes, I had, you got to quit hanging out with certain people, and certain people didn't want to hang out with me anymore. So we kind of had to go our separate ways. So I spent a long period of time where I was like very lonely. When I was in the podcast studio and hanging out, recording my videos, it was like those were people online were my friends. Like I didn't have any real people, like real friends in my life. And I was just praying. I was like, I want people in my life that are walking the same values and are going to make me be better. And now, like, I do have these people around me, and my husband's at church and his family goes to the church now. And now, even when I do have stressors, because I still struggle with anxiety, I still struggle with self-doubt, but I will start praying and I work through it because I know that God's got me. Like last year, if I would have tried to do that by myself, I would have shut my business down because there's no way that I would have been able to handle um there was two vehicle crashes that happened last year. So I lost two company cars that were brand new wrapped. Financially, I don't even know how I made it last year. It literally I just barely made it. Just barely made it to have enough money to pay my staff, pay my bills, and have a little bit of money to put into marketing to be able to I gained like 67 customers this year, reoccurring
wow.
customers. So it's like God is so good. God is so good.
Yeah, this show is on Amazon. It's called House of David, and the story of David and Goliath is amazing for a lot of different reasons. But it has been said, I'm not sure if this is in the Bible or if this is a quote from someone else, but I've heard it on several different occasions, and I've heard it in different ways. One was on a reel, but it's been said that when God wanted to make David a king, he didn't give him a crown. He gave him Goliath. Man, there's so many things that happen in our life, and they're the Goliaths of this. But when you have faith, all he needed was a sling and a smooth rock. He picked up 5. And I've heard this too. He only used the first one. So if he knew that God had his back, then why did he pick up 5? Well, Goliath had 4 brothers. And just
Mm.
in case they stepped up, he made sure that he had another rock for each one of them. So I also heard it this way: when God wanted to make David a king, he didn't give him beer and PlayStation. He gave him Goliath. So that's a way to make it in modern times, man. He don't give you the things that are easy for you. He gives us the struggles. He gives us the ADHD, Erica. He gives us the, for me, single mother, household, father in prison, 11 different schools before I got to high school. He gives us the 2 full-time jobs. He gives us the doubt so that one day we can come closer to him and wear that crown. That's whether you're a man or a woman. You can be David or Davina. I don't know. We could come up with a name for a woman. But the crown is there for you. You just got to go through some struggles sometimes. So the struggle is a part of winning in life. No one that we know who is strong and powerful and rich and well off, they didn't just get it without struggle. You need pain so that you can grow. And that's powerful.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm that type of person too. Like, I don't know. Somebody can tell me something. I am very hard headed. Like, I gotta feel it. So I'd be like, okay, we won't do that again. Ugh.
Well, let's transition to that so we don't lose the audience, but again, like I said, if you haven't given yourself to the Lord, man, Mac underscore landscaping is how you find me on Instagram. I would love to have a conversation with you, help you out, man, speak some life into you. But again, it's not my words. I ain't powerful enough to say those things. We need the man upstairs so that we can help you out. But let's talk a little bit about Google
Mhm.
and all of these reviews that you have that are 5 star. How many are you up to now? Last time we were talked, it was 400 and something. So
Oh, I don't know. I'd have to look it up. I'll look that up while I'm talking. So basically, when I started the business, I just knew from Keith Kalfas that you need to get well worded 5-star Google reviews. I was like, okay. So what I did is I just like typed up a couple of things on Google Doc because I can't spell very well. I'm always spelling something wrong. So I have to copy and paste, copy and paste. So I figured out, I had that typed out. I said something along the lines of, if you're happy with the service that was provided, do you mind leaving me a well worded 5-star Google review? It's going to help my small business grow. And then I included the Google link to the review page. So I made it super simple. And after every service, I would send that out to every single person. And it was a hustle, it was a struggle in the beginning, but people just wanted to. I was kind of like shameless about it. And then from there, I think I got over 100 reviews just from that. And then Nice Job, I started using Nice Job that was hooked up to Jobber. So every time we closed out a job, Nice Job would ask for those reviews. Now you do have to provide good service, because if you don't provide good service, they will light you up.
mhm.
And I'm not above, like, if somebody leaves me a poor review, I reach out to them like, what can I do to be better? Like, you gave me a 4-star. Thank you. I appreciate that. But what could I have done to make sure it was a 5-star? Because I want to know, like, what am I lacking on? Um, so just providing the service, having it hooked up to the CRM. And then when I had roughly around like 200 or something reviews, I linked up with Clay from Review Harvest. And he took me, like, his software. I mean, we were doing the work. Once we closed the jobs out using this automated software, he took me from like 200 and some change up to 400. So every single time one of my jobs close out, his powerful software is just following up, following up, following up with these people until they eventually lead a review. So it's a mixture of providing the service, good service, and then having a really, really strong follow up sequence and plan.
Man, I love that. I'm gonna take some. I might need. Do you have templates available to give to people on how you did that? If you don't, you should get some so that you
Yeah.
can, share those out, make some money, because
Yeah. This one's
templates are
really
where it's
good.
at.
This one's really good to use around Halloween. Oh, I don't know if I can say this on YouTube. I don't want to get in trouble. Um, Maybe I'll just share it later. But it said something about, like, where's the best place to hide a blank body. The second
Uh,
page on Google because nobody looks
unalived. You
there.
just gotta say it that way.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Where's the best place to hide an unalived body? The second page of Google because nobody looks there. Do you mind leaving me a Google review?
Oh, that's fire.
So it's like things are so automated and people are just busy. You have to do stuff that's like that. Wait, what? What did she just say? Or what's going on? So even when I'm following up with quotes and Jobber, I'm not like, hey, Sally, this is Erica. I wanted to follow up with you. No, I literally will just write their name, Sally, question mark, and they'll be like, who's this? And I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. That's so rude of me. This is Erica with Krooppin Spoopin Scoopin. We were talking about dog poop removal services. Are you still in need? Then they're like, oh yeah, I totally forgot about you. So it's like you have to be creative like that to really like catch people's attention.
Well, you had mentioned earlier about learning and asking questions and things that what are you doing to add to your learning? I know that you and I were in a mastermind group about a month ago with Eric Triplett, but
Yeah.
what are some other things that you're doing to add to the education for yourself and your business?
Um, that's a good question. I mean, I feel like I'm always learning. My main thing right now, like I've read the books, I've done the therapy, I've done all the things. I really need to implement what it is that I'm doing, just kind of do the boring stuff. And I really need to pay attention to people because I'm embarrassed to admit this, but I've been with my husband. I don't know. We've been together for a long time, 2011. Let me know how long that's been. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
I walked out into the garage and he was like standing there. So of course I'm like saying all these things and I'm talking, and he's just standing there. And I stopped. I'm like, wait a minute. I was like, are you doing something right now? And he's like, yeah, I'm like going through everything that I need before I leave for work. To me, I just seen him standing there. I'm like, all right, cool. I can talk to him. But no, he was actually like going through a checklist in his head. That was the first time I ever like recognized that because I'm trying to be more self-aware for other people. Because by nature, I'm kind of a selfish person because I'm like, get out of my way.
That's ADHD, man. I'm
Yeah.
telling you.
And
I
so
know I relate.
that's what I'm trying to focus on. And because now I'm actually sinking money into paid advertisement, I'm really trying to work on my lead conversion because it's tough out in these streets. It's expensive. So it's like I gotta convert these leads over.
It's tough out in these streets. We got Dorsey's Lawn Care. He's a channel member. He says, "Do you own a dog?"
I do. Her name is Java Lava Honey Bun.
What? Java Lava Honey Bun.
Her real name
What?
is Java, but it's Java Lava Honey Bun.
All
Or
right,
the Honeys or Miss Ma'am.
Miss Ma'am, I like that one.
Yeah.
G6 Landscaping and Snow Removal says, after all your current dreams come true, what's next?
I don't know. Whatever the Lord wants me to do, I'm down. I want to keep blessing people. I want to get more involved with the church. I would love to grow the church's social media. That's a goal of mine. Um, and my husband wants a lake. He wants a lake house. So we're definitely
Mm.
going to make our way to the lake eventually.
Lee Walker says, do you do landscaping?
No, I get asked that all the time, and I'm like, I just don't. I just scoop the poop.
Just scoops the poop.
Yeah,
Lamont, Lamont, right? Harrison
yeah,
Property Management. He calls me the lawn care theologian. He started calling me that one lawn care power moves. I guess my impassioned speeches that happen from time to time
that's
make
fun.
people feel that way. I'm trying to go through these things and see if we have any comments um, from anyone. But someone asked, "Are you in PA?" No, she's in Michigan.
Yep.
I can answer that for her. But so, what do you got planned for the rest of the year? Live events, different things you're going to be doing.
Yep, I have the live event at ScoopCon, which is in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. I get to do a presentation. I was thinking about business, and I'm like, I don't want to talk about business because there's going to be big dogs there. They're doing like a couple $1 million in business. I really want to touch on like the mental health side of things because that's really what I'm passionate about, and that's really where I come alive. And so that's what my presentation is going to be focused on, not to give too much away. And then I'm going to Mexico by myself. I'm going to Tulum, Mexico. A friend of mine has a resort out there, so I'm just gonna go and do that.
What do you
Uh,
mean by yourself? Just you?
yeah, because my husband didn't want to go to the resort because it's like a detox, like health thing, and he wasn't interested. So I said, okay. I said, hey, girl, just send me a car. Send me a car to the airport. Have me picked up and shuttle to where I need to go, and I will come.
Wow, that's fire. Tulum, Mexico sounds like a wonderful place. I've been to Cancun, I think. We went to Jamaica, me and my wife, but I could never go by myself. I would be so bored.
Well, I'm gonna be at a resort with some other people. Like I'm sharing
Oh,
a room with somebody. I don't
oh.
know.
Yeah,
We're
well,
just gonna have some fun, you know. I'll just figure it out. So I'm gonna do that. We are, my husband and I were getting very serious about being a good steward of our money, and he makes good money. I make good money, and but I'm like, where'd it go? Where's it at? Because literally have no idea where this money is at. So we have budgets. We're talking with our money management person to make sure that our investments are where they need to be. And we're getting our debt paid off. So then that way we have more freedom to have some breathing room and just be able to kind of enjoy a little bit of time, and enjoy winter. Because this winter was really tough. Like
mm.
we got towards the end of it and we're like, we might have to eat the dog. I don't know. Like, but finally, like he was back to work. My spring rush kicked off, and now it's like now we're back to it. We just have to make sure that we're doing right by our money and making sure we put it in the right places.
Yeah, that a lot of times, that's how I used to feel too, until I learned from Johnny Moe about the winter fund, and I finally hired an actual CPA and getting the books done the right way and doing all that stuff. I hired my wife as now my CFO. It's crazy. We talked about God earlier, and my wife has started a realty company. She's looking for her first property right now. We're looking at a duplex to start off our real estate portfolio. But she's been working in the corporate world, being an auditor for different banks throughout her 11, 12-year career since she graduated from college. But it's crazy because we had these big dreams, right? Things that we wanted to do. We didn't know where God was leading us to, but it's like, again, He don't give you the crown. He gives you the things you got to go through. He gives you the Goliaths of the world. So she was working a job that really she didn't like,
Mhm.
right? Looking at numbers and everything, because I feel like she's seen like what I was building and the joy that I was living in every day. Wake up in the morning, whether you're going to scoop poop or you're going to cut grass on a grass cutting go kart like I do. I know that I am happy when I'm out there. Like when I'm actually in the midst of doing the actual work. Maybe the back end stuff is the stuff that I hate, right? So I didn't like doing that. My wife is very, very good at that. She's been doing it in the corporate world, but she's like, there's things I could help our business with. And I'm like, all right, cool. So she's like, I'm quitting. I want to quit the job. And I said, quit the damn job. So she quit the job and now she's come over to do what we're doing. And I'm doing well enough that I can't pay her exactly what she was getting paid because man,
Yeah.
she was killing it, but, I could still pay her a six-figure salary, is basically to be the CFO of the company, and I can't even explain to you how much I always talk about stress-free lawn care. Now I have no stress because 'cause I'm very good at doing the work, talking to the customers, very personable on that end of things, but then I might not send the bill out on time because my ADHD gets the best of me. I'd rather scroll on my phone.
Yep.
She's making sure all that stuff happens. So now it's like a whole new world has opened up. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just have to have a good team. So for you, is there anything that you have employed outside of you talked about Cycle CPA with the bookkeeping and everything, things that help you with things that maybe you might feel a little more deficient at?
Yeah, well, definitely cycle CPA, getting the reviews off my plate with Review Harvest. Jobber has been a huge help because that is where all my customer communication stays in one spot. So then that way, me and my team, I can keep everything organized. And If there is a message in there, I leave the little red dot so it lets me know, like, hey, you got to come back to this. You got to respond back to this customer. So I've built little things in like that. I did have a virtual assistant for quite some time, but like I said, I needed to make some changes in my business. So I got rid of them. I'm back in the business now because I'm not in the field as much anymore. Now I'm really working on selling. That's the reason why I'm in Eric Triplett's group, because I want to learn how to sell. I want to learn how to close. Because when I would think about this, I'm like, it's such a low ticket price. Like, why do I have to overcome objections? Like, but now I'm putting money in advertisement. I wasn't looking long term, like, oh yeah, this customer is only paying me, let's say $25 for this clean. But if they're with me for 7 years, 25 times 52 times 7, that's worth a conversation. That's worth figuring out, well, what is your price point? What's your reservations? So I'm having fun with that, which is really nice. And I'm kind of just getting control back of my business, because with the VAs, they served a purpose for what I needed them for. I zoned out last year because I really wanted to shut my business down because the stress was so much, and I was becoming to where I hated my business. So I kind of hid out in the field. Like you were saying, when you're out there working, it's easy to hide out there because I don't have to think about anything else. I just have to think about scooping the dog poop. I don't have to worry about the lawsuit that I'm having to file. I'm not having to worry about the audit. I'm not having to worry about my insurance going up, none of that. But now it's like, okay, you've built up the skills. The position that you're in business, this is what's going to take you to 300,000. This is what's going to take you to $500,000, is being able to have these difficult conversations and be able to navigate them quickly. And so that's honestly what I'm really working towards, and just asking for help,
Yeah,
because
I love it.
I feel bad. Like, I feel bad asking for help. But that's stupid to not ask for help.
Yeah, I literally told my I just told my younger brother that today. This is his first day working. He's never done anything when it comes to lawn maintenance before, and I said, "Listen, ask a question. There's no question you can ask me when you are just starting out that I'm going to be like you're dumb." I said, "If you don't ask the question, that's dumb.
Yeah.
Don't
For
go ahead."
me, because of the ADHD, because you know how we are, dude, like our brains are running all over the place. Like, we're on turbocharge. We can outwork anybody and it all makes sense. But when I have to, like, stop, ask somebody for help, and then explain somebody what I'm doing, I'm like, I can't. I'd rather just do it. So that's what I'm really working on, just chilling out and slowing down and be like, this is what we do. This is why we do it. And then also me, like, following that's the rule, Erica. We're not breaking the rule. We made the rule. It doesn't matter how you're feeling today. This is the rule. That's been tough.
All right, well, we'll land the plane here on this because I know you said I'm going to stay up to do the show for you. This is past my bedtime, and I really appreciate you. You've killed it on this whole episode. I just want to say, first of all, yeah, you've really killed it today on the episode. But for someone who is on the fence and is afraid to start a business, why should someone start a new business?
Well, if you're wanting freedom, I wouldn't say that's not the way to start the business. But if you really want to go all in on yourself and you wanted to build something that is meaningful and you're willing to put in the work day and night, and really look at this long term, give it a shot. I mean, why not? Why not try it? Because I'm a firm believer of, like, try it. If it doesn't work out, okay, figure something else out. You'll be all right.
No doubt. I love it. So if anyone wants to get in touch with you, where can they find you at? And make sure you mention your Instagram and all of that.
Yeah, on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, it's Erica Krooppin. You can also look up Krooppin's Poopin' Scoopin' or the Scoop podcast. Any of those, it's going to bring me up. I have really good SEO. I did a really good job with all the videos and all of that stuff. So
Yeah, I love it. Make sure you go follow her and subscribe to her YouTube channel as well.
thank you.
We always forget to mention the YouTube channel. I know I do. So I want to make sure because you got what, like 8,000
Yeah.
subscribers or something like that.
Yeah, I really was because I was spreading myself thin. I won't keep you too long, but I was spreading myself too thin with posting on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube and Facebook. And it's like I do run a real business, and then I'm also running a social media business with the content creation. So I really just had to figure out like where I wanted to put my energy. And YouTube is where I really wanted to. So I'm doubling down. I'm posting 3 videos a week over there. I'm hammering the shorts. And so that is where I'm spending the majority of my time because that's how all this got started. I recorded a little rink-a-dink video when I left the hospital job after being there for 14 years and just said, "Hey, I quit my hospital job to go scoop dog poop and I'm going all into myself. Let's just document the journey and see where it goes." And it's been 1,000 videos later. I'm still documenting the journey.
1,000 videos is incredible. I think I'm on like 132 or something like that. I don't know. I gotta iron. Get more in tune with that. I got stuff just sitting in my Final Cut Pro that I just haven't downloaded to the computer to upload to YouTube. So
Well, I actually did hire a virtual assistant to help me with my social media. And so May has actually been making it this so I can do this because I was barely uploading one video and I was like, oh, this is such a struggle. Like I would upload 3 and then I wouldn't post for 2 weeks. Upload 1, post 5, not upload for a couple weeks. But now with her, like she's doing all that detail work, like tags and descriptions and making sure it goes out at the time it's supposed to. And then Mr. Producer also, he's really helped me a lot.
yeah, well, that's amazing. Make sure you go follow my girl Erica Krooppin with Krooppin's Poop and Scoop and listen to the Scoop podcast. Go subscribe to the YouTube channel and yeah, man, she's an amazing young lady, and we're so thankful that you came through to be a part of On the Attack with Mac to inspire, motivate, and educate our audience tonight. Thank you so much, Erica.
You're welcome. It was great hanging out with you. Thank you. Bye.
Yes, ma'am. We'll see you later.
See ya.
Peace. All right, man, that was amazing. Erica absolutely crushed it today. I hope that you got something valuable from this episode. If you did, do me a favor and head over to Apple Podcast or Spotify and leave me a review. It goes a long way to let people know what they're going to get when they tune in to the On the Attack with Mac podcast. If you're seeing this on YouTube, drop a comment. Let me know what was valuable to you and how can we make the show better. Every time I do this, I want to make the show better in some way, shape, or form. Don't forget, you can become a channel member. I'm not sure exactly how you do that, but it is on YouTube, and we will be bringing you a new subscription based community where we will do some stuff when in life. Lightbringers community coming soon. Let's get now to the last shot. Oh, this was such an amazing episode with Erica. I learned so much, and I hope that you did too. One of the things that we talked about at the beginning of the show, one of the things that Erica got over and she acted on immediately was her vision. So the last shot is to get out of the spirit of fear and trust the visions that you have for your life. Everything is possible, no matter if you're struggling right now, no matter what situations or circumstances that you may be going through or have went through or will go through in the future. Your crown is waiting for you. God has already ordained you to win in your life. That is why you are here, to do something special, but it will never happen if you're operating in the spirit of fear. So trust those visions and doubt those fears so that you can go out there and win in life. As always, I love you. I appreciate you. I wish you nothing but success. And remember, the creator created you to be creative. So go out there and create whatever it is you want in your life. Because I'm out. Peace.